Does God exist? Universal energy, the source, and all these other terminologies that you may have heard to describe this force, this power, this thing, if it even exists, called God. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through some powerful practical exercises so that you can come to your own conclusion. And once you've experienced this, your life will never be the same again. I am Dan Warburton, a transformational coach who's known for having enabled thousands of entrepreneurs and business owners to succeed in extraordinary ways. I've also got web spaces full of testimonials backing this up, and I'm often invited to speak to audiences of thousands around the world about what transformation makes possible. I now get to live an extraordinary lifestyle, and I want you to be able to experience the same. So you've heard it from all sorts of people in so many different ways, and you're still maybe none the clearer. Or maybe you are absolutely sure and dead set that God does exist. Wherever you stand on this, I'd like you to join me in some exercises to experience something extraordinary today. So now you might be wondering, well, do I believe in God? Well, I've kind of denied or pushed away that there's something greater out there, like there is a force that we can call God or something like that. And I've somehow become very much realistic. And the reason is because I struggled for years to succeed in anything. And so I got to the point of, no, unless I see it in front of me, it's not happening. And I was applying that to opportunities, to, certain businesses maybe wanting to work with me, other entrepreneurs, or money. Like, unless the money's in the bank, no, it's not happening. And I very much took on that mindset. And it served me really well for years because it meant that I just didn't mess around. I made sure that I absolutely took every single action there was to take to be able to get those kind of results. Otherwise, I'd have just given up along the way. As the years have gone on, and I've begun to realize things or distinctions like I have no control over anything other than how I respond to situations. I've had to find this trust in letting go, in realizing that if I can only respond to circumstances and respond to situations, then that pretty much leaves me in a situation where I'm a bit vulnerable to the world and to the universe and to what's going to happen. So I've had to very much learn to trust, to just surrender, to show up powerfully to each opportunity, to show up powerfully to each commitment, yet be able to just let go of whatever might be or what might happen. And in doing that, I've begun to tap into a real deep joy and deep presence. So now, let's get to God. Is there a God? Divine energy, source, and all these ways of calling God that somebody may call God, or Allah, or any of these things. Well, science has now proven that absolutely everything in our universe is simply made up of energy. And that at the very, very highest vibrations of energy, you have light. And at the very, very lowest vibrations of energy, you have solid matter. Like this is made up of a low vibration. And when it becomes so low, we're then able to have the experience of being able to touch it. Now, I'm not going to claim to be some quantum theory specialist or to be godly realized. However, I've certainly come to distinguish energy, that everything really is made up of energy. And the more I awaken to this, the more I become aware of this presence. And I want to show you 3 different ways that you can experience energy. So today I'm going to be taking you through these 3 exercises. And as some of you know or don't know, I actually practiced Tai Chi intensely for over 3 years. And that practice enabled me to have a direct experience of energy itself. And as time's gone on, I've now begun to really distinguish that energy is in absolutely everything, and that everything is made up of energy. If you could take it further, some people call that energy love, that everything in our universe is made up of this tapestry that some people call love. But in today's video, let's get into it and let's have you experience energy. So what I'd like you to do to begin with is to stand up with your legs shoulder width apart. And then what I want you to do is to place your hands together in a prayer position just in front of your chest. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do in a minute is to clap and then relax your hands and bring your hands together. And as you bring your hands together, see what you experience. So this is what you're going to do. And now you relax your hands and keep relaxing your hands as you let them very, very slowly drift towards each other. And as you allow them to drift towards each other, see what you begin to experience. Now, if you do this correctly, what you'll actually begin to experience is energy. You'll begin to actually feel the circumference of what could feel like a sphere. And when you've got to this, you know that you've actually begun to tap into energy itself. Incredible, right? If you can't feel it, then just try it again. Maybe it's because your shoulders are tense and you're stopping the flow of chi. So try it again, breathe deeply into your stomach, take a breath in, breathe out, put your hands in prayer position in front of your chest, clap, relax your hands and allow them to slowly, slowly drift together. And you should be able to experience energy. I know for the first time that I experienced this, I couldn't believe it. But this should be able to give you an initial experience into energy. And as many people call this being what God actually is, energy. Well done. So, onto the second exercise that you can do. What I'd like you to do is to find a place in your room where you're standing in the light, but you're looking into a dark area. So for instance, for me here, I could be looking into this area here where there is shadow. And what I'd like you to do is take a deep breath in to your stomach again, breathe in and breathe out. And then once you've breathed out, I want you to look into that dark area and let your eyes go out of focus. And as you let your eyes go out of focus, as your eyes go out of focus, put your attention into one central point in that area that's out of focus from you relaxing your eyes, and see if you can see anything in the darkness that isn't actually pitch black. So it would simply look like this. So right now I'm looking into an area of shadow. I relax, I let my eyes go out of focus, and then I bring my attention into one point in that dark area. And as I do that, what I start to see are like tiny, tiny, tiny little fizzing little bubbles. They're almost like tiny little bubbles, and like you can see it fizzing, and it's from whites and it's actually multicolored. And once you get practiced at this, what you can actually see there, if you're doing this correctly, is you're seeing energy with your own eyes. Isn't that incredible? I know for the first time whenever I saw this, I questioned it and I wondered what that is. And it's only been over years of meditating in Tai Chi and working with energy that I've begun to actually see this energy. So that's the second way that you can experience energy. Now, the third way that I'd like you to practice is this. This one is not so easy, and it actually takes more advanced practice to be able to actually experience this. So what I'd like you to do is to get into a seated position, and as you're in a seated position, take a deep breath in, close your eyes. Take 2-3 deep breaths to bring yourself to a relaxed state. And what I want you to do is, as you breathe, hear yourself breathing in and breathing out. And actually hear your breath. Doing that is going to bring you back to a centered and calm state. And then once you've done that, what I'd like you to do is continue breathing. And as you continue breathing, actually let go of the breath. And as you let go of the breath, what I'd like you to do is to bring your attention from your breathing into what you can hear. In other words, from hearing your breathing into what else you can hear. At first you'll hear sounds, you'll hear, I don't know, possibly traffic, you'll hear people moving around you, you'll hear all sorts of things going around you. And as you relax, what I'd like you to do is to bring your attention beyond the hearing, beyond the normal things that you can hear. And you should, if you do this effectively, be able to begin hearing sounds beyond the immediate realms around you, beyond just these sounds that are there every day. And what will happen is you'll begin to hear like a very, very distant, high-pitched sound. Very, very high-pitched sound. Now, some people have actually mistaken this for tinnitus. But actually, once you relax into it and don't resist it, it becomes a very soothing sound that's constantly present behind everything. And as you allow yourself to hear this sound, what you're hearing is the sound of the universe. You're hearing the sound of energy. And in ancient Tibetan terms, they call this the sound of Om. And as you can even try it, Om, and as you let the Om disappear from your voice, as your voice stops producing that Om sound, see if you can hear the Om sound in the universe and in everything around you. And what will happen is if you do this correctly, you'll experience this amazing Om sound of the universe. And you can actually use that to meditate. That every time you hear yourself thinking about something, just come back to focusing and being with the sound of Om. So take these on today. Take these 3 things on today. And if you practice these properly, you'll really begin to experience energy. And as you experience that energy more and more, it's up to you as to what you call it. You can call it God, you can call it energy, you can call it universal energy. The place that I've got to in my life is that now I absolutely have given 100% trust of my life and my destiny to this thing that people call God or energy or whatever you want to call it. Why? Because I am simply one tiny little human being with one experience of life. And I can't say that I have all the answers or that I have control over anything. The only thing I know I have control over is how I'm being, how I'm responding to circumstances and situations. So that's my take on God, energy, the divine, Allah, whatever you want to call it. And well done for watching this video. If you got something from this, if you learned something or you enjoyed it or you got any kind of insight, then hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to be taking us deeper into further practices throughout the next few weeks and going forwards. And if you practice these, you are going to be deepening the quality of your life and elevating your performance as an enlightened entrepreneur or business owner. Cheers.